You're not one of us anymore. My dad's message read. Don't come back here again. I didn't argue. I simply wrapped up my side of the escrow, told the trust officer I was pulling out, and filed for legal separation from everything we said. Coned. By dawn, my sister's text came through. What did you do? I laughed. A few hours later, my mom's attorney emailed, we need to talk today. I didn't feel anger when I read it. Not sadness either. It was something different, like a switch inside my chest clicked to off. It had been 9:47 p.m. when that message appeared. I'd just put the kids to bed, finally sat down on the trade. I sat down on the trade, and we all know I've been exploring. That is what I've been exploring, that path. It was something different, like, with some my 7 munch, it was some color in mund. My 7 to cows, with 7 tracet. I couldn't work to see someone to command work. I couldn't we tell core to 6-7 you work by 7 mun 6-7 concord words 7-1 concord with sick and widen to see if I can we get can with 5 to 6 kali gay you see to sick or to see so the can key to you you can we to with you to you so with it secure I will light a key to look in sit to kai I feel I we to week to the stuff you to are you guy couch, ready to eat. The takeout sat warm in its box, untouched. Then my phone lit up. My dad again. 6 words. You're not one of us anymore. No preface. No, we should talk. Just those words, like a judge's verdict. I stared at the screen, waiting for a follow-up, an explanation, even some dark joke. Nothing. He sent it, saw it delivered, then went offline. I set the phone down, stood, and walked aimlessly around the house. My stomach wasn't knotted. My chest didn't hurt. It was more like something inside finally locked into the right place after rattling loose for years. 2 days earlier, Jessica had asked me to help with her next tuition payment. She was halfway through her MBA at Columbia and had already drained the family fund. I didn't say no, just told her things were tight. My business had doubled payroll, expansion costs hit hard, and a shipment delay nearly wrecked our quarters. Cash flow, I left it at that. She didn't ask more. She didn't look for another way. She just said, okay, and hung up. That was Tuesday. Thursday night, my dad said I wasn't family anymore. Friday morning, a letter slid through the mail slot like a takeout menu, shorter and colder than the text. Don't show your face here again. The ink still smudged when I opened it. I read it twice, set it down, poured coffee, and got to work. First, I closed my escrow shares long-term deals gone. I signed off, removed my name from filings, sent the attorney my release. Next came the trust. Dad always bragged about our family structure like it was a threat. I emailed the trust officer, attached my withdrawal forms, and requested full removal from every joint asset and decision. He replied at 3 p.m. Are you sure? I didn't answer. I just sent the notarized PDF by dinner. I'd filed legal separation from every shared entity, the Tahoe house, the downtown rental office, the shell company I'd quietly let them use, to absorb their mistakes. At 5:08 the next morning, Jessica again. What did you do? I stared at the screen in the dark and laughed, not because it was funny, but because it felt like the first real breath I'd taken in years. At 8:17 a.m., Mom's lawyer emailed, we need to talk today. I drove straight over. No warning. Tea. Looked like he'd skipped his coffee. His voice was calm, but his hands shuffled papers too fast. He wanted me to pause the separations. It was moving too quickly. That emotions were high. I told him emotions had nothing to do with it. My part ended when they made it clear I was a resource, not a person. What they never understood was that nearly everything they counted on came through. Me Dad's landscaping business propped up by my credit after his IRS fiasco. Jessica's tuition covered through extensions against my collateral. Mom's nonprofit running on my monthly auto deposits she thought came from family funds. The moment I said it was hard, It cut me out. So I was cutting them off. I left the lawyer's office without shaking his hand. By Monday morning, cracks showed. Jessica's rent wire didn't arrive. My co-signed lease protection was gone. Calls and texts poured in. One from her, fix it. There was nothing to fix at 11:12 a.m. Greenspine's bank called about confirming the company card's new status. I said yes. She asked if I wanted to warn the other cardholders. I said no. They'd learn soon enough. By 3 p.m., Mom's attorney, again pleading for a temporary reversal to stabilize the trust. I told him no. At 4:30 p.m., Dad emailed, fix this now. No greeting, no reason. It felt like a reversal, him asking. Not ordering, but still not knowing how. He used to call me the quiet one because I didn't argue. He mistook restraint for loyalty. It wasn't. The family chat went silent that night. For the first time, the silence felt right. By Tuesday, it wasn't just frozen accounts. It was collapse. Jessica called from another number. You froze Mom's charity account. She didn't know it was under my name. I said nothing by noon. Mom finally called not to ask about me, but to tell me I was destroying what we built. She meant what I built. The lawyer emailed a urgent request to halt changes. I ignored it and pushed the accountant to finalize property reallocations. Tahoe stayed theirs. Denver flat became mine that evening. Marcus from fulfillment called Dad's vendors were refusing orders. Payment channels weren't down. They were gone by Wednesday morning. No new messages. Then my assistant flagged a 3:19 a.m. attempt to reset the old shared cloud account. Jessica's IP. They triggered the auto lock, which protected one folder, Frostline. Inside records of what they'd done in my name. They'd hoped to erase it. Instead, Jessica called. Panicked. I hung up at noon. The trust officer texted, we should talk. In his office, he looked exhausted, said Dad was near liquidating to cover payroll. Mom lost 2 nonprofit board members. Jessica's loan application had been denied. Then he handed me a flash drive from my late grandfather, for the one who walks away first. Inside scanned letters. In mine, he'd written, don't let them back in, not even once. That night, I transferred the last shared property, the Carmel vacation house, to my own holding company. Changed the locks and sent confirmation to their inboxes. Mom called. I let it ring. Thursday morning, Mom showed up with a bakery box, no knock, just stood there. Left the box a note inside. Let's talk. We miss you. I threw it away. Jessica's email followed long, emotional, but without apology. At 2:50 p.m., the smart lock flagged an attempt with Dad's birthday code. At 4 o'clock, a voicemail from him, half-finished, full of regret, but nothing concrete. I saved it. That evening, my wife asked if I was sure about the final lockouts. I said yes. It wasn't revenge, was clarity. By Friday. They filed a claim on the Carmel house, using a sticky note from 5 years ago as proof. My lawyer laughed. I told him to finish dissolving everything. Cousin Lisa messaged. They wanted. You gone? Didn't expect you to take everything with you. She was right. It ended quietly. One Sunday, Dad brought a tub of photo albums. Said Mom wanted me to have them. No invite, no small talk. He left. The pages inside felt like a museum. Roles once played well, long abandoned. Over the next days, the outreach softened. Jessica. Hinted at regret. Mom sent gifts for the kids, but never used their names. Lisa visited, said Mom was acting like she'd be at my daughter's birthday. She wouldn't be. I told Lisa I didn't care if they changed. The moment I said it was hard, they told me I wasn't one of them. You don't come back from that thought. The court finalized everything, trust dissolved, properties split, businesses severed. Dad sold part of Greenspine to pay wages. Mom closed her main office. Jessica downsized. Every access point to me gone. They still came by now and then. I'd open the door, thank them for the gift, tell them the kids were busy, and never let them in. They come through the visitor's entrance now. And me. I finally sleep. No late night transfers, no guilt texts. No debt wrapped in love, just peace. And that's worth more than any inheritance they ever imagined.